Thank you very much. While from the last couple of minutes we heard about the cement and the building materials, I will try to give you a brief of the work that we are doing in India on the brick sector. And it is, mind you, it is large. It is large. I will share with you some data on that. Now, what I am going to show you is how ground realities and examples and solutions are helping in finalizing or influencing the policies of the government. Generally, it is the other way around. Other way around means it is a top-down approach. Government formulates the policies and it is given it to the field to be implemented. How are we bringing it, turning the cycle and doing policies? Before we do the policies, we are getting examples. Just I'm skipping this brief about development alternatives, but what we believe, we have heard about innovation. In our cases, the meaning of innovation is the profitable implementation of creative ideas. Mind you, the word profitable, because if it is not profitable, then it will not be accepted. Give you a context why we are doing this. In India, this is an example that I'm showing in India. In 1991, these were the scenarios. We had only 4 metro cities. The blue dots were the tier 1, and the yellow ones were the tier 3 cities, and there were some pink dots coming up, which has, of course, less than a million population. Within 20 years, this is the scenario that we have seen. Cities are growing much more, the towns are also growing, and people are more coming from the villages and trying to live in the cities. Similarly, in 2031, within the next 5 years, 10 years, this is going to be the scenario. Now, if this is the going scenario that it will be, then we need materials. We need housing. We need houses to be built. We need to accommodate people. And if this is, so these are the kind of scenarios that we will have where all of these houses that you see in the front, all of those small slums will give way to the high-rise buildings. Not only that houses, we will need infrastructure, we will need roads, we will need bridges. So to build all of these, we need materials. Other than cement, steel, one of the materials that we are dependent on are bricks. Give you a brief idea on the Indian brick sector. We are the second largest, of course, after China, but we contribute to around 10% of the global burnt clay brick production. Produce roughly around 175 million bricks in a year. It is it's increasing with an annual rate of 11.5%, and it consumes roughly around 25 million tons of coal, which results in a huge amount of CO2 emissions. However, it is predominantly in the small sector. Unlike other European countries where it is industrialized, it is small scale sector where there are small kind of really unorganized. But on the advantage of it is that it provides employment to around 10 million workers yearly, or even more than that. So it's a mini economy on its own. Because when brick sectors are there, when people are there working in a brick field, there are other ancillary industries that are coming up. So it is even more. The annual revenue that is generated within this in the country, more than around 20 billion US dollars. And it is the main construction material that we see, and it is continue to be there. Now, the work that we are doing, this is the Indian scenario. We are doing work in a small sector state in Bihar, situated in the eastern part of India. You can see there, very small. So we have been making interventions in the state of Bihar, and what are the interventions that I am showing you. But before that, even a small snapshot of the brick industry in the small state of Bihar, there are more than 7,700 burnt clay brick kilns. It is, of course, the third after the thermal power plant and the transport sector is the third largest, but still it employs roughly around 7 to 8 million people. And a small state like that, with those skills, it also generates around 2.3 billion US dollars, but all within the state. So when we started intervention into this, we said that, well, we need to, the state government gave us a mandate that by, as per the directives from the government of India and the Prime Minister, that we will have to turn this into a carbon neutral sector by 2070. Not much time left, but yes. So it has to be absolutely carbon neutral, and I'm going to show you how that we are planning to do and the strategies. But before that, the most important thing is that data. In the state, we didn't have data on where are the brick kilns, what is the number of brick kilns. The 7757 brick kilns, I'm giving you that data, but before that even, we didn't knew what is the number of brick kilns, how many people are being employed, where are these brick kilns situated. So we teamed up with UNDP's Accelerator Lab, and through a GeoAI tool, we mapped almost all the brick kilns all across the state, and this is the situation, where even if you blow it up, you can see the actual brick kilns situated. So it gives you a real-time picture of all the brick kilns in the state, including which are working, which are not working, what are the different types of technologies that are being adopted. So the net result was that we had an idea now that where are the brick kilns, how much is the production, so that we can devise, we can do the next interventions. So what we did was, we went to all of these brick, almost all, as representative sample. I would not say all, but a representative sample, collected all the data, and then we did a GHG inventorization of this, because we want to know how much of CO2 emission is being created by these brick kilns. And these are the figures. There are 4 types of technologies that are being used. Fixed chimneys, zigzag, these are different kind of technologies. And of course, the best technology is the fly ash bricks, which doesn't use any soil, it doesn't use any coal, it only uses the waste of a thermal power plant, and of course, lime, gypsum, or cement. But incidentally, I must tell you that all the brick kilns in the state uses coal as a fuel. Now, when we did a GHG inventorization, these were the results. A small state like Bihar, only in the brick sector, it emits 12.6 million tons of CO2. That's the figure. So once these data came up, we started working with the state, and that said that let's go on in working to a carbon neutral. By the next 50 years, we should make it zero absolutely. We were working with couple of policies. We started work quite early, slowly intervention into policies, but the strategies that we had planned, or we had been working now with the state government, including the central government at the state center, at the federal level, are these. So main idea, including with the vision of the Prime Minister, was that to turn this Bihar brick sector into carbon neutral industry. Not anymore a sector, but an industry by 2070. So our approach was that it has to be a graded. You cannot simply say that from tomorrow you close down the brick kilns. The whole construction industry is going to stop. It will be a disaster. So it has to be a graded response, but when this response, we have to think it of, it has to point towards a just transition process, where it needs to take care of the social aspects, it has to be equitable enough. Plus, as previous speakers also said, Joyshri also, that we need to change our lifestyles. Instead of bricks, can we look at any other alternatives? But yes, looking at building materials which are available. So these are the 6 uses points that we are working now with the state government. And we have done a calculation on how are you going to make it net zero. Number 1, we need to replace as much bricks as possible by fly ash bricks, which is roughly around 50%. Fly ash bricks doesn't produces any emissions. So my 12.6 ton, or say 12 tons, 12 million tons, straight away reduces to 6 million tons on an average. Now, if we shift from the existing technologies to more efficient technologies, we reduce it by further 25%. So my 6 tons comes to roughly around 4 or similar tons. We introduce hollow clay bricks, so you will reduce the resources also, and we save another substantial amount of energy. Next one is we look at alternate fuels, because Bihar is an agrarian kind of an industry where there's a lot of waste materials and other industrial waste. So if we can introduce industrial wastes there, then further we reduce it by 25. So we will be left by around 3 to 4 million tons. And that we completely would like to eliminate by using biomass-based fuels and shifting away, moving away entirely from coal-based fossil fuels. We have tried this in a couple of areas, and we have seen that it is even cheaper to produce, which means if it is cheaper, of course, everybody is going to adopt it. And of course, what we see is that there will be alternate materials that will be coming, precast panels, all mainly cement-based products, precast panels or AAC blocks. And in these kind of situations, the technology that Professor Karen Scrivener has proposed, which is the LC3, that becomes very handy. Thank you.